This might be the latest time that I've ever put together our monthly budget, but at least we did it, right? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we are here to talk about our July budget, and it is the day before July starts, so that's why it's a little late. Traditionally, I like to get our budget set up like a week before the new month starts, or at minimum, I don't know, like 3 days before the new month starts, but here we are today. But that's because June has been absolute trash, which you'll see in my July reset video. But for now, let's just talk about the plan for July. So jumping right into this, we like to create our monthly finance plan or saving and spending plan in a 3-part process. We like to map out all of our financial tasks, to-dos, goals that we would like to accomplish for that month. We also like to just write out all of the events and happenings for that upcoming month, and then also, of course, putting together our actual monthly budget. So let's go ahead and start with our financial tasks, to-dos, and goals. One is going to be to invest 15% of our paychecks. However, that is pending because I am thinking it's officially time to bump up that number by a certain percentage. So we will see. It might be like an August thing, but of course we go back to work in July, at the end of July. It might not happen until maybe August or something, but that's forthcoming. Stay tuned. Next, we want to pay our monthly credit card bill. Then I would like to book a hair appointment. I wouldn't say as you can see, because this is the hair, how it grows out of my head. So I cannot, talk negatively about it. That would be me talking negatively about an extension of myself, which I try to steer far from doing. But without saying, as you can see, I don't know how else to say it, but I am in need of a hair appointment. But I think I just want to, I might do, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I for sure need to do a blowout or silk press or something so I can get my hair trimmed, because I've been keeping up with that pretty good. I also want to get a hydration treatment. I think my stylist recommended last time. And so that's like a 1-part process, but then also I would need to have my hair actually styled, unless I just did a silk press, which is a style. But I don't know, I'm thinking maybe some mini twists or something. I have no idea. This is why book a hair appointment has been on here for a long time, because I just don't know about hair. I should just get used to the way it grows from my head, which is such, and call it a day. But I don't know, I like to experiment with color and different designs. Anyway, book a laser hair removal appointment. This is something that's been on here for months, and I'll get around to it when I feel like it. I would say in dire need of a touch up, so I probably should book one of those. I have another task on here, which is to buy my aunt, or my husband's aunt technically, a birthday gift. I feel like she maybe bought us one last year, or bought me one, or maybe for Christmas she bought us a gift. I think we bought her one too. But anyway, at any rate, she's been doing a lot for us, if you will, probably the past year or so. So I feel like we should, this is a debate, because I don't really care all that much about buying people gifts. I do buy people gifts pretty regularly. I'd say I buy multiple gifts for different people per month, but I'm not highly attached to, I don't force myself to do any gift giving, if that makes any sense. Like if it just flows and happens, then it does. So I'm thinking that might be a thing. I have on here to schedule my OBGYN appointment. Fun fact, which everybody gets up in arms about this, which is that what they call fear mongering? Is where someone else might have like a negative or bad experience with something and they project that onto someone else. I don't know what that term is exactly. Also don't know why this motorcycle is riding back and forth, but that's neither here nor there. But the people who I know in my life, and people online who I don't know, who have had, let's say, a bad report from their OBGYN or gynecologist, have near breakdowns whenever they see that I still have not scheduled an OBGYN. But I would take the advice of the many, but I actually just go with the advice of my primary care physician. She and my gynecologist obviously both report that if you have normal stuff, normal reports, then you don't have to go but every 3 to 5 years. Some people may disagree, and I feel like if you have struggles and issues, then you might disagree, but I have never had any, so every 3 to 5 years. This is just on here as a constant reminder that I need to do it. Hello? At any rate, this is something I do need to do. I used to go yearly when my previous insurance covered me to be able to go yearly. It was never necessary for me to go yearly, but if it was covered and I was paying for it, then of course I was going. Now I have to pay out of pocket and for my OBGYN, or I can have my PCP to do it, but again, I don't have to do it as regularly as maybe other people. So this is just on here to remind myself to schedule either with my PCP or with my OBGYN. Next, I want to complete some random acts of kindness. I would say some months ago, I made it my goal, maybe the beginning of the year, maybe, to be more intentional about my random acts of kindness. So that's on here. I did request my W-2s from the IRS. They could not find them, so I then requested them from the Social Security Administration. So hopefully they can find them, give them to me, and I can use them to submit them to the company for which I need to submit them to. Next, we want to pay for counseling, book our North Carolina hotel. My husband's cousins are having like this big weekend extravaganza, and we are planning to go. Also need to reserve dog boarding for North Carolina, which I kind of just did. I asked if she was available. She said yes. When she does that, she pencils us in, and then we finalize the details like a little bit closer to the date. Any minute now we could, I mean, it's already almost July, so we could be finalizing them. And then of course she sends us an invoice and we pay it. And that's what reserving dog boarding looks like. I am also going on a cousin's trip to Virginia, so we need to finalize those plans. We have our lodging taken care of. We know the dates that we're arriving. We know what events we're sort of kind of going to get into, but we need to just plan a few more things. If you're new here, I'm almost always hanging out with my cousins, either my cousins, you know, my actual cousins, or my husband's cousins. We just hang out with cousins pretty much. Lots of cousins everywhere. I put on here to buy some home goods because we have been running through our home to-do list. And so there are a couple little things we need to buy to kind of get this place back into shape. And so we need to buy some of those things, like a microwave, light bulb, and small things like that. Also going on a wedding cruise in October. Need to pay off that cruise by the end of July. And then, fun fact, my Apple Watch is dead and I haven't had it for over a week. I've been existing without it, even though I've worn an Apple Watch, I'd say every day for 7 years. So I'm actually trying to see how long I can go without it. I feel like I won't care until I go back to work in July. So we'll see, but I may replace it in July. I might not. You can tell because there's no discoloration. Well, there's like a light discoloration, but yeah, I'm pretty tan now from being in the pool and being out the country and closer to the equator. And I actually burned when I was out the country last week or whatever. But anyway, you can tell that my Apple Watch is no more because I feel like my skin's all the same color-ish. So anyway, that's the thing. For events and happenings for July, I'm going to 3 free seminars with free food, 2 with my husband's aunt, and I go to her with those occasionally. I think they're both at Bonefish Grill, and then my husband's job is having a seminar, and that's at Texas Roadhouse. Basically, you go, you learn about like retirement or whatever the topic is, and they feed you, of course. So going to 3 seminars in July. We have Independence Day in July. One of my friends is having a party. I have not RSVP'd, but I'll probably go. We're going to counseling in July. Virginia trip with my cousins. We're both going back to work in July, tragic. North Carolina trip with my husband's cousins. I have a friend date scheduled, a brunch scheduled with some friends, and then a book club meeting scheduled for July. So those are the current happenings. Next, let's talk about our budget, which is pretty simplistic and doesn't change a whole bunch from month to month. So first we have our gym bill. This is for us both to attend one of our local gyms for $62. Our car payment for the one car that we have that's financed is $314.34, and actually it'll be paid off in a year, so I'm thrilled about that. So that'll go away. Well, we could technically pay it off sooner, but the way our lives have been set up, it's not looking too good. This is the exact reason why I have let go of, just in life in general, but like any strict goals or, you know, like things of the sort, because life comes at you fast. And I feel like we live a pretty chill, calm life overall, but if it ain't one thing, it's another. Let's just put it like that. Next up, we have our electricity bill, which is mad expensive. For July, it is going to be $323.96. Have we been home every single day in June running that? Well, we haven't been home every single day, but because we went on vacation, but basically we've been home sucking up all the air. So I'm not too surprised as to why it will be expensive, or why it's expensive currently. Our cable bill is $45.99. Lawn/pest control is $85. Our mortgage is going to be $1,685.18. Sirius XM for our one car that's financed is $9.99. Water/sewer, I'm budgeting $75, but to be honest, it could be a little less. But I just budget $75 until I get the bill, which we will get probably within the first week of July, typically, is when we get the bill. Yeah, I feel like a few days into that new month. Our internet bill is going to be $85.30, and I think that's like a lifelong thing unless we change some stuff, but we're kind of locked in at $85.30 per month. Amazon Music is going to be $10.99 per month. Our pet plan for our dog, who's here, is going to be $65.55. Life insurance is going to be $42.19 for the both of us. And fun fact, that is for a 10-year term life policy, and we got that like right when we got married or right before. So next year we'll be married for 10 years. So in my head, it's just always in my head that we'll have to renew our policy or get a new policy next year. That's crazy to me. Anyway, Netflix, $9.99. That's it for our bills. All right, so that leaves a good amount of money. So I am going to budget $3,000 for shopping. Shopping is going to include food for us, food for our dog, treats, toys for our dog, gas for our cars, anything that's not a bill basically. So when I go to this Independence Day party, I have to bring a shareable dish. And so that money, that is basically groceries, but that's an example of something that money would be used for. Counseling, when I go to Virginia, North Carolina, any friend dates, book club meetings, brunches, some stuff I can expense through the business if it's an actual business expense, but if not, then obviously it's a personal expense. So I'm going to budget $3,000 for that. It's giving $3,000-ish too, because if I upgrade the Apple Watch, my husband may be having to buy a new phone. I don't know that $3,000 would cover that. Depends on what phone he gets, of course. I don't know. I'm thinking that $3,000 should do it. That would leave us saving about $750, which would be great. But you know what? I just thought about something. We have to pay off that cruise, and for which case I don't think we'll save that money, because the amount that we have to pay off for the cruise I think is like $750. So I'm actually thinking we won't save any, and that I need to put the entire $3,750 towards shopping, aka spending, because I don't think we'll save any, mainly because of that cruise. It's not looking too good. Or like the cruise, the watch, potential watch, the phone, potential phone, if he opts to just get a new phone. All signs are kind of pointing to us spending all of that money instead of saving any. So that's what it's looking like. But at any rate, the sum of all of that as it stands is $6,622.57. We try to budget around $6,500 each month because we know that is the minimum amount we will bring in. So I just try to get pretty close to it. Nothing too crazy, like as close to $6,500 as possible. You know, in theory, I could bring down the shopping a little bit to make it closer to $6,500, but again, $6,500 is the minimum amount that we'll bring in, and we'll likely bring in more, so all is right with the world. That is gonna be our budget for the month of July. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give this video a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you're liking what you're seeing, and I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.